Right now at noon, Sauk County officials have identified the homicide victim whose body was found in a casino parking lot while the search for the suspect continues. And no break in the shutdown stalemate who President Trump is blaming as the impasse nears the 1 month mark.
This is News 3 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 on this Thursday. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield is here with our first alert forecast. What happened to the sun?
Well, it went away. It was here and then it was gone.
Then it's gone. That's how it works.
Like that.
Yeah.
The magic trick that Mother Nature is pulling ahead of some snow on the way for the weekend. We do have a few flurries on Doppler track right now. They're not going to really cause any problems. A little bit of freezing drizzle is possible for the next couple of hours, but I think a lot of that does stay north. We have pretty dry air over us, despite the clouds that we are seeing on the WISC-TV Skycam overlooking Madison. Temperatures right now are in the upper 20s and low 30s, so pretty normal for this time of year. And wind chills, not too bad. They have taken those readings into the mid-20s in Madison. Still feeling like 30, though, in Boscobel and Lone Rock. We have just had some winter weather advisories and winter storm watches issued for southern Wisconsin. You could see the colors there. For the blue, that's a winter storm watch, and a purple box is a winter weather advisory, and the advisory includes Dane County. The watches go from Friday night into Saturday. That's in advance of our next system. So your forecast first for this afternoon and evening. Temperatures will drop through the 20s. We actually will see a little bit of clearing by the time we get to tomorrow, but then winter tries to fit everything into one weekend after kind of missing us for the first half of the season. We'll talk about what you can expect this weekend in your first alert forecast.
And the timing of this is good because there's no school. It'll be Saturday morning.
Right. So there are some positives here, but we still do need to be careful.
Yep. Keep an eye on things. All right. We'll check back with you later.
All right.
Thank you, Dave. Top in our news today, we have breaking news. Law enforcement responding to a report of a body found near a Dane County home this morning. A caller reported finding a person behind a home on Fur Lane in Marshall. Our Keely Arthur is live on the scene now with the latest details. Keely.
Hi, Mark. This is a very active and fluid situation. What we know right now is that a body was found just after 10 a.m. in Marshall. Because of that, the high school right here behind me has been put on a soft lockdown. That's because it's so close to where this body was found. You can see pretty far away, there's some yellow tape. It's in a private trailer park area, and that's why we're having such a hard time getting close to it. The Marshall PD as well as Cottage Grove PD are on the scene right now investigating, trying to figure out more details. When I asked them what they knew, they said they really couldn't tell me any information right now, although they did confirm that there is a death investigation. Things seem pretty calm, no danger to the public from what I can see right now. And again, a situation that is active, and we'll be sure to keep everyone updated on channel3000.com and on our broadcast later in the evening.
All right, Keely Arthur reporting live for us from Marshall. We will look for updates throughout the day. Thank you. Sauk County Sheriff's Office has identified the homicide victim whose body was found in a casino parking lot. Officials say 88-year-old Harold Johnson of Portage is the homicide victim. Johnson was reported missing by his family and was later found dead in the Ho Chunk Casino parking lot on Monday afternoon. Law enforcement is continuing to search for the homicide suspect. A warrant has been issued for 68-year-old Robert Pulvermacher of rural Middleton. If you see him, authorities want you to call 911 and maintain a visual until authorities arrive. Two boys are back with their families after they'd been missing since yesterday morning. Officers were particularly worried about 11-year-old Dominic Hale, who has a condition that requires medication. Madison police say he and 14-year-old Charles Fleming are both home safe. 3 people were injured last night after a vehicle crashed into a tree in Greene County. Emergency crews responded to the 2400 block of County Road T in the town of Spring Grove for a report of a single vehicle crash with injuries. 27-year-old Marlena Ray of Madison was driving south when her vehicle entered the ditch, hit a tree, and then stopped in a field. She was extricated from the vehicle, taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Her passengers, a 38-year-old man and a 6-year-old boy, were also injured in the crash. The 2 adults were wearing seatbelts, but sheriff's deputies say the 6-year-old was not properly secured in a child safety seat. Republicans are vehemently dismissing House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's request for President Trump to postpone his State of the Union speech due to the partial government shutdown. Nicole Killian reports from the White House.
Top House Democrats huddled on Capitol Hill Thursday to strategize on ways to end the 27-day-old partial government shutdown.
It's a very simple solution. Reopen the government, treat the Congress like the co-equal branch of government that we are.
On Wednesday, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi sent President Trump a letter asking him to postpone the State of the Union address until the government reopens, citing security concerns.
Any response from the White House on your request on the State of the Union?
No, our request was let's talk about when we can do it at a time when government is open and the people who are here to protect us are getting paid.
Before leaving for the Pentagon this morning, the president tweeted, "The left has become totally unhinged. They no longer care what is right for our country." Mr. Trump has threatened to keep the government closed until the Democrats agree to $5.7 billion in funding for a southern border wall. Trump supporters, including Senator Rick Scott, the junior senator from Florida, criticized Pelosi's move as political theater.
I can't imagine why Speaker Pelosi would say there's not going to be any money. I mean, nobody believes that. Nobody believes that we shouldn't be securing our border.
The shutdown is taking a toll. Many TSA workers are calling out sick, citing financial limitations. Pop-up restaurants and food banks are stepping up to help feed federal workers who will miss another paycheck if a deal isn't reached soon. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
And there's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Whether you're a dunker or dipper, you'll love what we're whipping up today. It's a homemade onion board that tastes like it just came from a bakery. You know, this is the time of year when we find ourselves craving soups and stews, since they tend to warm us up from the inside out. And if you're like me, then no bowl of soup, chili, or stew is complete unless there's something to dunk in it. So let me share with you an old world style onion board that's good for dipping, dunking, or wiping the bowl clean. We start by browning a large onion in some butter until it's golden. While that finishes up, we roll out a loaf of frozen bread dough that we thawed and place it on a rim baking sheet. Once it fits perfectly, we brush it with a beaten egg and spread the sauteed onions over it. This looks amazing. Now, we sprinkle on some poppy seeds and a bit of Parmesan cheese, and into the oven it goes. There you have it, a perfect fresh from the oven solution to dip or dunk into all your comforting favorites. To be honest, it's so good, I could eat half of this before it ever gets to the table. To get the recipe for our Parmesan onion board, all you have to do is check out our website. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a freshly baked way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Thank you, Howard. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, we have an alert days in the forecast. Snow and colder temperatures make their way into southern Wisconsin. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield has more in your first alert forecast coming up. Well, a popular children's retailer files for bankruptcy and a new tropical taste for Diet Coke. Diane King Hall has more in today's MoneyWatch report.
After 2 days of gains, stocks open lower following weaker than expected results from Morgan Stanley. The firm says its bottom line was dinged by a decline in trading activity and wealth management. Another retailer bites the dust for the second time in as many years. Gymboree is filing for bankruptcy. The children's clothing retailer will begin closing hundreds of stores, including its namesake locations and Crazy 8. But its higher-end line, Janie and Jack, may be able to survive the bankruptcy relatively unscathed as the company pursues the sale of that brand. A status update from Facebook. The social networking giant says it has removed hundreds of Russia-linked pages, groups, and accounts The profiles were said to be part of 2 major misinformation campaigns. Facebook says it took action after finding profiles that spread disinformation on its main platform and Instagram. Coca-Cola is adding 2 new flavors to its fruit-infused lineup. Strawberry guava and blueberry acai are joining the list of fruity Diet Cokes first released last January. Industry watchers believe Coca-Cola is spicing up its classic taste in an attempt to compete with the booming flavored seltzer industry. The new Diet Cokes roll out nationwide this month. And that's your CBS MoneyWatch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
Thank you, Diane. The Dow Industrial is down 19 points at the noon hour. The NASDAQ, however, is up 11 points. Let's check in now with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee on this calm before the storm.
Yeah, I guess so. We'll have to keep an eye on what's happening there, although it would be nice. I was at the Wisconsin Agribusiness Classic yesterday at the Alliant Energy Center, which is all of our farm cooperatives, all of our fertilizer dealers, our seed suppliers, and all they were talking about is this bare soil out there, not necessarily good for Wisconsin. We like to get a little snow, protect some of those grassy fields, some of our alfalfa fields, and also remember we want to try to break the cycle as far as insects, so keeping a little snow around wouldn't be the worst thing that we'd see in Wisconsin. So another thing, a little bit of normal back into play here in Wisconsin as far as USDA. Today, the Farm Service Agency offices in 12 different counties around the state are back operating today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. U.S. Ag Secretary Sonny Perdue announced that yesterday. Now, in our Channel 3 viewing area, the offices that are open include Monroe, Fond du Lac, I'm drawing from memory here, so Monroe, Fond du Lac, Grant, Lafayette, and I believe that's about it. There's just a handful of offices in our area and Greene County too. Sorry about that. Those are the offices that are open on a little bit of a temporary basis, trying to process some of the farm loans that farmers have been counting on, and also making sure they've got the 1099s ready for disbursement before the end of January, per the IRS's situation. So just a little bit of action on USDA. Sonny Perdue said yesterday he's going to use all legal authority he's got to try to keep some of the USDA services rolling. Markets today in Chicago, we just got a pop just a couple minutes ago as far as corn and beans. Suddenly they're up like 7, 8, 9 cents. I'll have to see if they close that way. Barrel cheese in Chicago dropped $0.015 to 118.5. 40-pound block cheese down 3 at 138 3/4. Double A butter down 2 1/4 at 2.24 a pound. So yeah, just a handful of those Farm Service Agency offices open to try to help farmers out, Mark. But then remember, Monday is Martin Luther King holiday, so it'd be a federal holiday to begin with. Markets will also be closed, so just note to self, Farm Babe will not be around on Monday either.
Okay, well noted. All right,
yes.
Yeah, we could use some snow. This is Wisconsin. This is not natural.
Yep. You're right. Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll see you later. Thank you, Pam. Dave's here now with the first alert forecast and the storm headed our way.
Yeah, a little bit of snow is on the way for southern Wisconsin, and right now a little bit of snow is showing up on Doppler track, but this is just some flurry activity mainly north of Madison, spots like the Dells into Fond du Lac, Camp Douglas, some light snow falling right now. A little bit of patchy freezing drizzle is possible early this afternoon with this, but really we are turning our eyes to our next system that will be in place still over the Rocky Mountains right now, getting its act together, but that will move in Friday night into Saturday morning and could bring us our most significant snow event of the season so far. It really feels weird to say that because we're only talking about a couple of inches of snow in some spots, but for this season, which has been another quiet one, at least at the start, it could be the most snow that some of us pick up all at once. So we'll have to watch out for that. And our snow depth is just basically non-existent for much of southern Wisconsin. The exception to that rule is right by the state line. And I think by the state line could pick up the most snow once again as this system rolls around. Also, closer to Milwaukee and Kenosha because there is going to be some lake effect and lake enhancement with this. More on that in just a little bit. We'll have a complete breakdown of that. Downtown Madison and the Edgewater Skycam, not seeing any flurries right now, just mostly cloudy skies. Forecast high of 32 today, which is about 5 degrees above normal. So we do have alert days in the forecast for the entire weekend. Friday, mainly Friday night, light snow does develop late, and several inches of snow is possible at night. On Saturday, that snow gradually comes to an end. Could be some more minor accumulations. And Sunday, we switch from the snow to the cold with morning lows near 0 and morning wind chills of -10 to -20 at times. And those wind chills could stay cold into Monday night and Tuesday morning as well. So the cold weather looks to settle in by the time we get to early next week. Winter weather bulletins, winter weather advisories, and winter storm watches in effect for Friday night into Saturday. So let's take a look at this on future track. We're not looking at all that much as we head into Friday morning. Actually, a little bit of clearing is possible. But then by the time we get to late Friday afternoon into Friday evening, that snow starts from west to east, affecting spots like Platteville and Mineral Point first, then spreading eastward closer to Madison. Note the time here. This is overnight Friday into early Saturday, still snowing, and then that snow does wrap up by the time we get to Saturday morning. The good news with this is temperatures will be cold enough where all we're going to see is snow. The bad news is some of that could be a little bit on the significant side as far as totals, especially closer to Prairie du Chien, Boscobel, and Mineral Point, Platteville included in there as well. And then the lake enhancement could bump up totals closer to Milwaukee and Kenosha. Generally speaking, though, the farther south you head with this system, the more snow you can expect to get. For Madison, still thinking about 2 to 4 inches at the present time. So after we get through those alert days, we still could have a snowy pattern shaping up for next week with temperatures staying in the 20s. So it definitely looks like winter is here to stay as we head into the second half of January. Mark, back to you.
Sure is. All right, Dave, thank you. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. I'm next. Marissa DeGroot is here with this guy. He's Willard, our pet of the week from the Dane County Humane Society. We'll meet him when we come back. And there he goes. Marissa DeGroot from the Dane County Humane Society is here. As you can hear, Willard panting. Hi, Marissa.
Hi.
Dave's here along to help corral this guy.
Yeah.
Tell us about Willard, senior lab?
So this big handsome guy, you're right, is a senior lab mix, and he was actually found wandering around stray in James Madison Park
Really?
in Madison. Yeah.
Well, he's
believe it or
obviously
not.
somebody's pet.
And but now we're looking for a great new home for him after an owner didn't show up. But even though he is a senior, he is truly a puppy at heart.
Yeah, he is.
He is one of those guys. He just loves to run around. He absolutely loves toys and meeting new people.
And he's wearing a thunder shirt because he's a little anxious at the shelter.
Yeah, you know, the shelter environment is a great temporary home, but it's no match to a real home. And so Willard is a little bit stressed out there. So we got his little jacket on him to help him make him feel better.
His buddy Dennis is.
Yeah.
You can see his buddy Dennis. So, but he's obviously somebody's pet. He's trained.
Yep, and he's a very smart boy. He has some tricks down pretty well already. Should we show him, Willard?
Well, there's a toy first. Here.
Oh, toys are the best. Can we sit? Nice job, and lay down.
Wow.
There you go.
So
That's better than Dave.
Yeah,
We've been trying.
I'm still trying to get lie down.
Been working on that for a while. Yeah, and we don't know exactly how old he is.
We don't know exactly how old he is, a senior, but for the most part in wonderful health and just looking for a great family that can be active with a kind of a senior gentleman.
He is so friendly. What a character. All right, you got an ice skating event going on.
We do. So this Monday, a great activity, especially with school being out. You can head down to Hartmeyer Ice Arena. They're doing their community skating event, and they're donating 100% of proceeds for admission and rentals to help animals at Dane County Humane Society.
From 11 to 3:30. Yeah, it's not very winter. Well, it's going to be wintry outside by then, but this is a good chance to do some skating. Last week.
Oh, the handsome Mario. He did get adopted. We were so excited for him.
He's a great kitty. All right, let's get Willard a home here.
Yeah, come check him out.
Go to the website giveshelter.org for information on Willard and all the critters available. What you smelling there? You know how many dogs have been on this rug? 838-0413, the number to call. Giveshelter.org. Marissa, thank you. Have a great weekend. Good luck, Willard. Dave, one final check of the forecast.
Yeah, maybe he's smelling that snow that is on the way as we head into Friday and Saturday. But this afternoon, chance of some freezing drizzle, maybe a few flurries, nothing too major. Highs will be near 32. As we head into the next couple of days by Saturday afternoon, generally looking at about 2 to 4 inches of snow for spots like Madison, Lone Rock, and Watertown. And the further south you head, the more snow you can expect to receive. I think most of that snow heading closer to Platteville, and then with some lake effect snow, Milwaukee and Kenosha picking up a bunch as well.
And that's Willard panting, just so
yes,
not Dave. That's our time for now. We'll see you back here at 4. Have a great afternoon.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.